Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is, Who Are the Cursed People? I forgot to put the last part on there. It's supposed to be the hated. Alright, so in this segment, Lord's will, we're going to cover, who are the E's or the Edomites, the cursed people. In this segment, Lord's will, we're going to go into the word or the scriptures dealing with Esau being hated. So what I did was I looked up the word hate. And the word hate is feel intense or passionate dislike for someone. This is pretty much the key. There's other ones, but the main thing we're dealing with is this. Is feel intense or passionate dislike for someone. Then it has an example here, which is heavy because it's dealing with Jacob and Esau. It says the boys hate each other. You can't make this stuff up. So the word hate, loathe, detest, dislike greatly, abhor, which the word abhor does not mean hate. It simply means to avoid. Abominate, despise, right? Because they are the abomination that maketh desolate, right? That's what the Lord say. Execrate, so on and so forth. So there are a particular group of people on the earth today whose lineage goes back to the biblical Edomites, whom the Most High hates. And when we go to Romans 9 and 13, it says, as it is written. This is key to understanding the mystery. It says, Jacob have I loved, the Israelites, but Esau, the so-called white man, have I what? Hated. Now in this particular passage, when you go to the word hated, right, I believe the word is miseo. Yep. You go to the word hated, it says miseo. It says to hate, pursue with hatred, detest. To be hated, detested. All right. Now there are two ways you could break this down. Having a straight up disdain for someone or hatred for someone, or hating a person's ways, right? As in the case of here, intense or passionate dislike, right? And there was another one. Let me go back to this one. It says, used politely to express one's regret or embarrassment at doing something. I hate to bother you. So pretty much it could be pointed towards someone that you feel intense, passionate dislike for, hatred, or it could be someone's ways that you detest, that you hate. All right. And such is the case for this word, the latter part of that, which is intense hatred for someone's ways. Such is the sense here in the book of Matthew. Is it Matthew? Just bear with me. No, it's in the book of Luke. Luke chapter 14 and verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life, he cannot be my disciple. So there's a different way that this is being used here, because these devils try to use this scripture here in Romans 9:13 to say that no, it's not talking about actually really hating them, because you don't really hate your father and your mother. That's true. But as far as the hatred towards Esau is extreme hate that the Most High has for him, because that is the definition of the word. But when it comes to your father and your mother, unbelievers, whether they're family members, friends, or whatever the case may be, if they're going against what the scriptures say, then you have the right to have an extreme hatred for their ways, not them per se. And by you avoiding them and not dealing with them, it shows your disdain or your hatred towards their ways, because they're not walking in the path of the righteous. So there's a difference, And even if this word miseo meant the hatred in that fashion, which it doesn't. You could use it both ways, in the fashion of, hating your father and your mother, meaning avoiding them, not doing the things that they're doing to try to pull you away from the truth. Even if that word only spoke about that, which it doesn't, the key here in Romans is what? Romans 9:13, as it is written. So where is this written that we can go and scrutinize that verse, in order to be able to find out exactly what the Most High meant when he said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, which is not a mystery, but this is what the devil does. They like to twist and turn things. They like to pervert. That's one of their favorite things to do, is pervert. They talk about cherry picking. They are the biggest cherry pickers on the planet when it comes to religion and the scriptures. So when we go to Malachi, the first chapter, this is where the Apostle Paul was quoting back to, when he was breaking down to the Israelite foreigners in Rome, through this epistle, about them being brought back to the fold, because the knowledge is only given to the Israelites. But what happened to you guys was you were led away unto different idols. You fell away, so you became strange to the Most High. So now through the blood of Yahushua, you that didn't have opportunity back then, now you have opportunity through the blood of the Messiah, Yahushua, to come back into the good graces of the Most High. Hence, the ministry of reconciliation, or the gospel of reconciliation, extended to you to break down that middle wall of partition, to make peace between the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and you, Yasha'Allah, you Israelite foreigners. And that's pretty much, that's the nuts and bolts of it. All right, so when we go to Malachi 1:1, it says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. All right, this is to the whole nation of Israel, whose father was Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. And all of the seed that came out, that's why his name was changed to Israel, or Yasha'Allah, because he had already accomplished the mission with his name Jacob, Ya'iqwab, supplanter, when he got the blessing and when he got the birthright from Esau. Not necessarily in that order. All right. So it has nothing to do with blood type. It has something to do with, the spirit. Jake got to get out of that blood type and, DNA and all that crap. So it says the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, because it's all flawed. And pretty much all that DNA stuff that was done out there to do research for your ancestry was all to get everybody's DNA around the world, so that they can play with that blood and do things with it. I'll just leave it like that. I have loved you, saith the Lord. So who is this speaking to? The Most High, Yahweh, is speaking to Israel. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? Right. And the scriptures also speak about science falsely so called. So Israel is asking, wherein hast thou loved us? Don't you see the conditions that we're in? If we're in this condition, why, are we in this condition? If you love us, we would hate to see if you hate us. So Jake is taking that approach. So how hast thou loved us? So the Most High said, was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. So when we go back to Romans 9:13, as it is written, is coming back here to the book of Malachi 1:3, and I hated Esau. When we go to the word hated Esau, or the word hated, let's see, hated, the word there is shana'ah or shanah. To hate, be hateful, to hate of man, of the Most High, hate, one hating enemy, because they are the enemy of the Most High. That's why they oppose and exalt themselves against everything that is called the Most High. Okay? It says, yeah, Jake ain't got no discipline, man. Jake just do whatever the hell they want. Now, if it was Esau teaching, guess what? They'll be quiet as a church mouse, listening attentively to what the white man says. To be hated, hater of persons, nations, God, wisdom. It says enemy, foe, hate. So odious, man. When when this is like extreme hate. This is synonymous with the word choler, which is extreme hate, that fiery, vehement hate that someone has for somebody else. Extremely pleasant, repulsive, right? So the Edomites are repulsive to the Most High. Have you ever looked up the word repulsive? That's just like you trying to chow down on something and it just tastes like straight up hell. It's repulsive. You can't stomach it. Repulsive. Arousing intense distaste or disgust. You know? You repulse me. All right, so let's go back. And then you have, it gives you the Hebrew Chaldee or Jacinius Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. Gives you, the different places where it's at and the breakdown of it. Then you have here Genesis 26:60. And they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, Thou art our sister. Be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them. See? Because the nations hate us. So the same hatred that they have towards us, we're going to show back to them. Genesis 26:27. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing you hate me, and have sent me away from you? Right. Beautiful. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. See? Because she wasn't favored, in the eyes of Jacob, because Jacob wanted Rachel. So he didn't really he had super love for Rachel. He didn't really care for Leah. But the Most High always deals with the underdog. That's why he allowed her to get pregnant. She had 4 sons, back to back. And then Rachel had to give her handmaid. And then Leah gave her handmaid. And then finally, after this great battle, after Rachel came to Jacob and told him, look, man, give me children, at least I die. And look, am I the Most High? Am I in the Most High stead? And eventually she got pregnant with Joseph, but he loved Rachel more than he loved Leah. It says 29:33, and she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord had heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon, or Shemaiwan, affliction heard. All right. So you get the point. You keep on reading through here. It gives you all the different, definitions for the word hate. And like I said, you could apply the hate miseo in Romans 9:13 with this extreme disgust or hatred towards a person, or extreme hatred or disgust towards someone's ways. It depends on the context of the scripture. And we just showed you that going back to Malachi. So let's read this once again. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Back in Malachi 1:3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So the Most High does not love Esau. They are the hated. That's why they look the way they look. And not only the Most High hates them, the nations hate them. Edom will be humbled. Yeah, because they are proud. Just bear me 1 second. Woo. All right. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning who? Edom. The father, or the the father of all Edomites today, so-called white people. And not because, we have to keep saying this, and not just because you look like a white person means you're an Edomite. It depends on where your line goes back to. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. And this is pretty much what the nations feel about these small hats, because they're the main ones going around saying that they're Israel. It says, behold, I have made thee what? Small among the heathen. Right? Thou art greatly despised. So these people are the hated, the Edomites. Let's go to two of those words. Let's go to the word small, which is the word quatan, which could be used as somebody that's small, tiny, a small number. Young, as it says here, young, small, insignificant, unimportant. Small, insignificant, young, unimportant. So really, it really means being unimportant or insignificant. All right? That's why even Job said that. Let's go real quick to Job chapter 30 to prove that point, to bring that home. All right? It says, It says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision. Now, if Esau was the eldest, how are they the younger? Because they are insignificant. And really, the whole world going back, in time, the whole planet was brown-skinned people until the Lord cursed Cain with leprosy. And that's when so-called white people started roaming the earth. Then the flood came, destroyed them, and they came back again during the time of a child by the name of Esau and his descendants later on when his name was changed to Edom, the Edomites. All right? So they are younger than us. They're insignificant, and they also came later. The word there is mun, from, out, account of. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go to the other word. Younger, yawam, which is days. Or day. Yawam, day. Time, year. Right, so that's how they're younger than us. Because they came later, but also they're insignificant, as we're reading here in the book of Obadiah, the first chapter, the second verse. But I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. So it's not just us that despise these devils, it's the other nations too. I just want to get this precept since it popped up into my mind. Oh, another one. Barakateh how Bashem Yahushai. And I'll come back to these, Lord's will, as Spirit allows. So, going back, the word there is bazah for the word despised. Bazah. To despise, hold in contempt, disdain. Yeah, they have disdain for these devils. To despise, regard with contempt. Now, when you look in the world today, why are the people mourning? Because the wicked are in power, right? Who are the wicked? Look at the people who are in charge of the world. And I'm not talking about the puppet leaders in these governments. I'm talking about the international banking families, the ones that rule and control the world. Those are the ones that are in charge. And those are the Edomites. And they are hated. So everywhere any way you slice it, everything points to these so-called white people as being the Edomites. They go around the world. You have a saying, Yankee go home, get out of my land. Matter of fact, let me see if I could type that up. But I want to put that there so I can remember where we at. You know what? Let me leave it here. Go home. Get out of my land. Right here. Boom. See what we got there. Yankee, go home. You are not welcome here. Matter of fact, Yankee, go home. You are not welcome here. Close all your bases on our land. Pay our workers more than we pay them. We want complete independence. Respect our sovereignty or die. But send us lots and lots of money and free goods, and then defend us with your blood. Okay, so this is supposed to be like this is Probably like Edom might put this up. But this is really what they're telling them. Get the hell out. Yeah, because you're going over there exploiting them. You know? You know, these devils always got to... There you go. There's another one. Yankee go home. Let's see what we could find. Yankee go home. All right, so there's not much. So let's go to all. That's G.I. Joe. Nah, I ain't trying to get no... Let me see. Idioms by the Free Dictionary. It says, Yankee go home. An outcry against the intrusion of the U.S. and or Americanisms into other cultures. See? Because what they're doing is they're pretty much going up in there and taking people's lands and infecting them, you know, with the disease of democracy, Americanism, and actual diseases too. So Habakkuk chapter 2 and 5, it says, Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, because they're trying to establish a one world government. All right? So that's why they're going around the world and gathering all people. That's why you have unions being set up. European Union, the Asian unions, things of that nature, African unions. You know, you have, they tried to bring Canada, America, and Mexico together. I forgot what that was called, something about a union. I forgot the name of that. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to incorporate, you know, nations into unions to make it easier to merge them all together. And this is what big businesses do. They allow small businesses to operate. Once those small businesses get to a certain point, they merge them with other businesses that they own, bring them into them, and eventually they're all absorbed into those bigger corporations. Because I believe it's like 6 major corporations that are running the world: BlackRock, Vanguard, and others. You know, they're running pretty much the whole world financially. All these different corporations that you see all are tied back to them, and that's why they're trying to destroy all the mom and pops, you know, businesses, because they want it all. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him? Right. Yankee go home, get out of my land. We just read Yankee go home, Yankee go home, an outcry against the intrusion of the U.S. and or Americanism into other cultures. So you devils are hated of everybody. Even your own kind hate you. That's why that computer, what was the name of that computer that predicted in 2023 all hell break loose? It wasn't Hercules. It was, I forget the name of the I can pull it up. Let me see if, just bear with me 1 second. That's not it. That's not it. Right. It's what's the name of that computer? It's this guy Armstrong. Socrates computer. The Socrates computer is predicting that there's going to be civil war, all kind of hell to be breaking out. Why? Because of the shit that the brother put out, Armstrong Socrates computer program. Yeah, that's because of these devils. They're the ones that are causing these things to happen. So the Lord is moving them on the left-hand side to do these things, because prophecy has to and will be fulfilled. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and say in a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? Right. How long? Yankee go home. Get out of my land. An outcry against the intrusion of the U.S. and or Americanism into other cultures. And that's what's happening. That's the consensus. All right? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, which is pretty much deep debt. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee? Right, because these nations are going to rise up and take you out, because the Lord is going to put the spirit upon them, because they're tired of the abuse. They're tired of Americanism. You know, when you look up the term Americanism, you had Hellenism, you had Romanism or Romanization, Romanism or something like that, and now you have Americanism, a word, expression, or other feature that is characteristic of America and attachment or allegiance to the traditions, institutions, and ideals of the United States. That's why the Lord said that, America, has all nations drunk with the wine of the wrath of her fornication, because they've been sipping out that cup. So everything leads in that direction, that America is Babylon the Great, that she is the one holding that cup, that all these nations are drinking from that cup. All nations are not drinking from the cup of the Vatican. They're drinking from the cup of America, because when you go to their places, they're not set up as a Roman Catholic Church. They're set up as America. They take on the ideals of America. And that's worldwide. No matter whether they worship in Hindu or Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Islam, whatever religion they're worshiping, they're still going about and establishing American ways there. Now, there was Americanism, ideology. Americanism, also referred to American patriotism, is a set of United States patriotic values aimed at creating a collective American identity, and can be defined as an articulation of the nation's rightful place in the world as a set of traditions, a political language, and a culture style imbued with political meaning. According to the American Legion, a U.S. veterans organization, Americanism is an ideology or belief in devotion, loyalty, or allegiance to the United States of America, or to its flag, traditions, customs, cultures, symbols, institutions, or form of government. In the words of Theodore Roosevelt, Americanism is a question of spirit, conviction, and purpose, not of creed or birthplace. Wait a minute. History. The concept of Americanism has been in use since the first European settlers moved to North America, inspired by the vision of a shining city upon a hill. Hold it now. Here we go. A shining city upon a hill. Isaiah 14:4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased. Why? The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So it was set up as a shining beacon of light to the world. People were told that when they come to America, the streets are paved in gold. They're going to do good. They're going to, But then when they get here, it's a total different vision than they had. You see? Because they were sold a pipe dream. They were sold fool's gold. And they fell for it. John Adams wrote that the new settlements in America were the opening of a grand scene and design in Providence by the illumination of the ignorant. Wow. Man, this is a whole mouthful right here. This is showing you that the so-called Illuminati set this place up. Because when you go back into the history, they say you have the founding fathers. Yeah, they were Masons. A lot of them were Masons. They were pretty much witches and warlocks. And you had a man that was sent out over here who was a envoy or messenger from the Rothschild family by the name of Haim Solomon, who pretty much financed the so-called founding forefathers. So all the way from the beginning, they had this place in the pocket because they had aspirations for it. This was a jump off, for their New World Order, and that's why it was known as a beacon of light. It's a providence for the illumination of the ignorant. So that's why they're drinking from that cup. And now that the people are drinking from that cup, let's go. I know this is in either Jeremiah 50 or 51, but I'm not sure. Right, 50. Wait a minute. No, 51. Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. See? Golden. Everything keeps going back to golden. We read there. It says, by a vision of a shining city upon a hill, the opening of a grand scene and design and providence for the illumination of the ignorant. So we go to the word golden. The word there is zahab, which is gold. The word gold. Going back, close that. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. They're mad in two ways. They're pissed off at this place, but they're also bugged out, inebriated by the intoxicating fumes and libation of this Babylonian juice. Salaki. Oh, Lord. So they've been sipping this wine. Now they're mad. They're bugged out. Let's see what the word mad says. The word there is halal. You go to the Arab store, gets the halal meat. Halal. To shine, figuratively of the Most High's favor, to flash forth light, to praise, boast, be boastful, to be boastful ones, to praise, to boast, to glory, to make a fool of, make into a fool, to act madly, act like a madman. So that's two ways, because when somebody is drunk, don't they act a fool? You know? And when somebody is indoctrinated, they also act a fool, because they're spewing out the rhetoric. I believe the word is rhetoric, sir. Inside joke. You know, they spew the rhetoric of American policy, American ways, American customs, American beliefs, Americanism. So these nations are pissed off. So not only the Most High hates this place, but all nations hate this place. You know, the only people that love these devils are you Israelites out there that haven't woke up to the truth. You know? And even some of you that have woke up to knowing you Israelites still love this devil. It's an amazing thing. All right, so let's go back to Isaiah. Right. He who smote the people in wrath with a Isaiah 14 and 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. And that's what it is. Americanism is nothing more than democracy, which is nothing more than them pushing a continual stroke upon these people. Because once you fall for the okie doke and you take the carrot, which is, you know, that money, now you're subjected to the jurisdiction and to the authority of the so-called United States of America. And what happens? People get upset, mad. That's why they want them to get the hell out of their land. But you took the money. But now other nations that have seen this happen time and time again now are waking up. That's why they share the sentiment of, you know, Yankee go home, get out of my land. Okay, I let go of that already. So it says, he that ruled the nations in anger is what? Persecuted, and none hindereth. So why are they being persecuted now? Because they're like, look, get the F out of my land. Matter of fact, what's this? Obadiah, right? Let's leave that. Let's go down to the 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Right. That's why they'll tell you one thing, but do something totally different. because this is your practice. They're just pretty much turning the tables on you. This is what you do to those nations constantly. You tell them one thing, but you do something totally different. So now the tables are being spent around and turned on you. They're being flipped on you. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. Right, because now they're doing good. Why? Because while they were not in a good place economically, now they're in a place where they don't need you anymore. So they can be independent. All they do is just sell their goods here to make more money. And that's why you have all of these disruptions in the world. You know, you have your, I'm not sure if the Shanghai Corporation is still around, but you have these BRICS nations that are pretty much, trading amongst themselves, using their own currency, because they see the corruption and the total, downturn that their country takes when they allow America to get up in there and push their policies upon them, bring their big businesses in there, to exploit the resources and the lands of those people. Yeah, there's a camp in Seattle. I believe it's called Northwest. If you brothers know where that the brothers page is in Seattle, Northwest something. If any of you brothers know, can you, Babaka Shah, put that in the comment section for this brother here? You got a camp in Seattle. Yes, there's a camp in Seattle. It says, they that, I'm not sure where their brothers speak at, but if a brother could put that on there for him, Babaka Shah, or put the link, if you have it. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. See? To lay a wound under someone is to what? Is to set something up as a trap for them. And eventually once they get it, they think they're good, but boom, it's no good. There is none understanding in him, right? Because you're not going to understand why these nations are doing what they do to you, because you're just that demonic. So the Most High hates you. We hate you. The nations hate you. Your own people hate you. And that's why there's going to be a total revolution in this country, because you're going to have total civil unrest. You're going to have militias and other groups that have been watching, observing, preparing. You're going to go to war with them. There's going to be great insurrections according to biblical prophecy. And that's scripture. So let's go back to Habakkuk. It says, no, wait a minute. We were in Isaiah. We read that. We're good with Jeremiah. We might go back to Isaiah 14. Habakkuk 2:7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? And thou shalt be for booties unto them. What are booties? It's not talking about a big butt chick. It's talking about the spoils of war. All right? You go to booties. Which, women are part of that. Mashasah. Booty, spoil, plunder, right? They're going to be plundered. That's why these nations are they're not having any regard for you, because you don't have regard for them. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Yeah. Because of men's blood. That's what you do. And for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And this is what you've been doing for the longest. And why did you do it? Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. You see something some nations have. You covet it. You sit down with your think tanks, and you figure out a way to get that into your hands. The best possible solution to get that into your hands. And then you go out and you put that into effect that you talked about behind closed doors. And it doesn't benefit anybody but you. It has the appearance of benefiting everyone, but when you look at who cui bono, or who prospers, or who benefits, it only benefits you, no one else. It says that he may set his nest on high. Why would you want to set your nest on high? So that you can be protected have a hedge, financially from things that are coming, from hardships, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. That's why it says up top here, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. All right, that was the 4th verse. All right, so let's go. Let's see what else we got. The whole earth, Isaiah 14:7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Right, once you go down. Because when Yahushua comes back, he's coming to take you out. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, even the trees and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. You ain't going to be able to cut down all the trees in the forest anymore. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, meaning you're going to go into a hellish state. You're going to go into captivity, slavery, having want for everything, coming to us for everything. It's not going to be good for you, Esau, in the kingdom. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Who are the dead? The other nations. So they're going to be stirred up. Even all the chief ones of the earth. Right. Because they're all in bed with you. But they're all being stirred up against you. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. You're going to be totally hated. Totally annihilated. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, meaning that pride that you have, it's going to be brought down. And the noise of thy vials, meaning this lousy music, it says the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Yeah, corrosion, corruption. It's going to be a witness against you. And it's being a witness against you from the falling apart of the infrastructure of America. You see it falling apart daily. Potholes everywhere, bridges falling apart. Buildings, they can't keep up with the maintenance of buildings. So on and so forth. So, we're done with that. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 14:9. For the ungodly, which Esau, and his ungodliness are both alike what? Hateful unto the Most High. So the Most High hates you, and the nations hate you. And we definitely hate you. I've been looking on Facebook and Instagram, but I can't find a website or email for Seattle. Well, they're on YouTube. Nobody knows the camp. Yeah, all you brothers in here, nobody knows. It's 113 people in here. Nobody knows the camp in Seattle. Just bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Subscriptions. Hold up. Just bear with me 1 second so I can see if I can find this. Okay. Here's one right here. You could just click on that. That's the brother's page. Hopefully you can click on it. If not, just type in. I'm gonna just copy this and put it on the comment board. That way you can. GMS Northwest. Now I don't know if you just want to go see the brothers or if you're trying to join the camp, but we're not really taking any new members right now, but you can get in touch with them brothers, via the YouTube and see if you could, if the brothers let you know where they're at so you can go watch them live, on the streets. So it says, for the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the Most High, right? So that's pretty much it. The Most High hates you and the other nations hate you. Your own people hate you. So that's bad when your own people can't stand you. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners, and you are the chief sinner. Why? Because you took on the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to yourself, therefore making you a sinner. It says, for the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly. And you are the ungodly that prosper in the world. It says, and keepeth them. See, but you know what? I want to say this about this brother. That's good. You see how the brother put the comment? He was patient. He put another comment later. He was patient. But what did he do? He was I just had the word in my mind. He was constant. I mean, it's another word for it, but it paid off because he finally got the information he needed. You see, I forget there's a term for it, but no big deal. So it says, for the Most High hateth sinners, and that's Ecclesiastes 12:6. For the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Why? Because the Edomites, which are the wicked, they will be reserved for the day of destruction. Okay, the water, bro. If there's an updated page, cool. All right, so let's go to Psalms 11:4. The Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord's throne is in heaven. His eyes behold, his eyelids try. The children of men. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. So you devils, are hated of the Most High and of the nations. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone. That's going to be your judgment. And in horrible tempests, this shall be the portion of their cup. For the righteous Lord loveth righteousness, his countenance doth behold the upright. But the Lord hates you. This is the book of Proverbs 28:4. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with him. That wasn't the one. Right, 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. And we know that you devils don't pray to the Most High. Can't stand your guts. And the last scripture I have here is in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 50, verse 25 and 26. I'm going to read this in the KJV, but I'm going to go to another version that explains it a little better. There be two manner of nations which my heart abhorreth, and the third is no nation. They that sit upon the mountains of Samaria, and they that dwell among the Philistines, and that foolish people that dwell in Sichem. This part here, the top, Samaria, is really supposed to be the Edomites. This is the Philistines, and this is the Israelites that live among the Samaritans. Now, when you go here to the GNT, Good News Translation, there are two nations that I detest, and the third that does not even deserve to be called a nation. These are the Edomites. All right. The inhabitants of the Philistine cities, and the stupid Samaritans, which are Israelites, the apostate Jews. So he said he detests. And really the word abhorreth doesn't mean hate. It means to avoid. So this word should have been used, something else should have been used in this stead. That word abhor does not mean to hate. It just means to avoid. All right, so with that, this has been Who Are the Eased, the Cursed People, the hated. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say shalom.